速開着。
Do some real damage. I could outrun a centaur. Strength of the pack! Come here. Feel my wrath. Save yourself. Here come the flames. Not enough energy.
Emily!
Victory comes with a cost. So many dead. We shall see.
spread the word. I'll try.
Less successful, and now Fnatic have perhaps played into it, taking a Thresh. This is perhaps in response to like a Karma pick, where you can try and get the hook on the support instead.
Well, I do like this banning from HK with the Kalista, removing the potential Kalista Thresh lane, but like again, this pick is... It's risky in so many ways, but we could say the same about the last draft, because Thresh, once you get out of this laning phase and into this more like teamfight phase of the game, he's so hard to execute, because then you stun yourself when you hook. You can have all these like mobile targets like the Blanc initial, you can't really catch, and you end up hooking the Gragas, and he's not the guy you want to catch. So it can be really difficult unless you snowball the laning phase. And that's again what they're aiming for.
There's a lot of areas it can go wrong, but Ignar showed us yesterday how right it can be for Misfits. That Thresh was on top form, and as we get the last ban away, there goes the Twitch. As H2K are going to take away two of these heavy trading AD carries. So I wouldn't be surprised to see H2K go Karma a little late.
Just give him Illusion here then for Reckless, and you have a really strong 2v2 lane still. He can also last pick it, that's what he's deciding to do, because they know Gragas is going to be the top lane matchup, and that's why they can take Camille here. But again, this is the kind of draft for Fnatic where it relies once again on executing laning phase. It worked the last game because they got early ganks top, they got early ganks mid lane. I want to see if it works in game 2. I think this composition here has a lot of pick potential. Can't be different.
There is a possibility, however, of Gragas going into tournament with Kha'Zix. I think that doesn't end up being the case now. We've got the Kha'Zix into the Elise. Shay, he's played a lot of Tahm Kench, a lot of Karma. These are the kind of picks that have been at the top of his most played list.
Of course, the Tahm Kench give a little bit of additional initiation tools for H2K.
I think you need to turn around there, Trevor, and say defensive tools. You are against a pure pick composition. The Tahm Kench also something
Impressive combination.
Simply to say, okay, you're hooking one target, no, I'm going to deny that one. I'm still expecting Lucian right here. But with Fnatic, it will be any AD carry in the world, but I would like to see that strong 2v2 bot lane where Reckless is on that playmaking AD carry.
Yeah, I agree with you. That Lucian the Thresh is so much potency in the... I mean, are you kidding me?
I mean, why not? Why not?
It's Reckless, right?
Okay,
This guy...
so Vayne is locked in. Twitch, for the first time this split. Vayne now locked in for Reckless as well. Deficio, you slammed your water bottle down. What do you think of Vayne Thresh into Ezreal Tahm Kench?
I think Vayne is complete garbage overall as a champion. I'm just going to say that. However, the Twitch was risky. come down here, man, if you disagree.
Time to do some real damage.
So, Twitch in the last game, that was risky. They played around it and
I could outrun
it on it. He's an old Vayne player, so obviously he might be able to execute this one, but I think Vayne's laning phase is just so weak. But I guess if you're bringing support, jungler, top laner, mid laner, then it doesn't matter how weak your laning phase is if the Vayne can set the work.
I can do this with a little effort.
This is an old Vayne play. Before we had to rush to get that one in at some point.
We have a
Straight to the pack.
basically said many times over the last few weeks, because it's comfortable. For Reckless, we know Vayne is comfortable. But for Jess, it's how comfortable is he on the ground? How efficient is he? With this sentence early and lentidly.
It's the moment in our who won this one, but part of our brains are saying no, Vayne, but then the other part is like, we kind of want him to succeed on it because it's such an exciting pick.
My mind is saying no, but my body is saying, is this Vayne spotting or is this Fnatic spotting? 1-0 up. They stun everybody with the performance in game number 1. Can they do it again? That is the question. Officio's not a human man. Vayne during the laning phase and this level of play. We weren't sure how Twitch was going to work, and Fnatic said,
I think there was more insight on how this was going to work as a good pick. But this one, Vayne snowballs specifically winning the laning phase hard, something has gone wrong. They kill Ezreal all the time, Kench, even with Broxah coming down. These should be safe champions.
Right, but here's the good thing now for Reckless of Vayne is he's not against the her issue of kind of finding a place on the map. She can't really hold bridge. She has to wait for her. She's very
to get himself out of it. Fnatic again, it's obvious that's where they're going, but
Yeah.
H2K, they didn't have too many more options on their end.
I'm actually just smiling because again, everything in this meta goes against Vayne, but this specific matchup is fine for him, and the fact that play
Replenishing.
around the bot lane can and will make this Vayne work, and it's actually super exciting to see.
It really is. And, you know, we came out to get ready for the show about 20 minutes before 5 o'clock. About 20 minutes before that, Fnatic were on stage getting ready.
Yeah.
Jankos is under a little bit of pressure. I'll carry on with that story in a second. Overload into Rune Prison. Connects with another overload. So as his body blocked. Oh! The blast cone!
Oh my God!
First blood to Caps!
Oh, Fnatic, it's seemingly in the mind of H2K right now. That blast cone back over. Jankos thought he was just about out, but Caps left the lane first. Febiven looks like he's just TP'd back to lane earlier, but couldn't match the timing on Caps. And beautiful blast cone usage.
And such an unusual play from Jankos. Going in for the enemy Raptors when his mid laner has zero control.
Yeah.
Look how far back Febiven is.
Just TP'd in. That's where that cooldown's gone, and now Jankos was in trouble.
Exactly, because Caps will, of course, just walk in behind him and do exactly this. Jumps
Oh.
over, and it's Caps who just auto-attacks the blast cone. What a nice reaction from him, just instantly flashing with them.
This is the performance that Fnatic have wanted out of Caps. All split long, and it has only appeared a few times, a few blossoms. Game 1 on that LeBlanc. Game 2 now, reading the blast cone play so well.
And this is the performance Fnatic wanted out of Jankos, where he's invading a Raptor camp early with no mid lane pressure, and he dies. He is obviously a jungler focused on the early game very, very often, but that is the kind of mistake we don't see too often from him.
Well, fortunately for Jankos, though, the back half of the split, we've seen that kind of mistake a few more times than we've come to expect from a jungler of his caliber.
And it was better for a moment there for H2K going in with Febiven himself, put the ward down, but they were actually spotted on the ward going into the jungle. So now Caps dodges out Febiven.
All right, a lot of damage back and forth. Overload on the end, just sidestepped away. So the trade relatively even, I feel. But as it stands, Caps playing very aggressively.
Yeah, and if we go back down to this bottom lane now, because again, there's been so much talk about Vayne. Well, she's gotten past the early levels. She's building towards a Blade of the Rune King. She obviously had that first gank from Broxah that caused a flash from Che, a heal from Nuclear, nullifying any sort of aggressive moves from the H2K bot lane. So Reckless, winning on farm at the moment, will just continue farming. He doesn't even need to fight before level 6. He can just keep trading. Just keep farming. And this is so good now for Fnatic. First blood, Vayne not under pressure at all. Their composition, it's risky, but the reward is very high.
Absolutely, and the reward for Fnatic on some of these more unorthodox picks over the last couple of weeks seems to be paying off dividends. I mean, even other teams perhaps started picking up some of what we can anticipate would be a scrim meta that Fnatic were putting forward. I mean, we saw yesterday Splice and Misfits talking about how Kennen was so successful in scrims, but didn't find its footing on the stage in the playoffs, 0 and 4. But Fnatic are making these different picks work with just a slightly different play style than a lot of other teams are making.
Kennen banned both games,
Yeah.
Twitch banned this game.
Vayne banned next game.
Maybe Vayne is going to be the next potential here.
Quinn game
I mean,
3.
we're also thinking very far ahead. Jankos going to find some pressure. Trying to defend his Gromp. Broxah just walks in and takes it away.
Yeah, Jankos surely didn't have Smite ready just in time. We go back and check that out, because he just had to jump out instantly.
Well, unfortunately for Jankos, game is getting a little bit away from him. Yes, he's got a small CS advantage, does have access to level 6. We've not seen him gank yet, so I need to see where Jankos looks for an opportunity, if at all.
Yeah, I just want to add this little one thing just to make it even worse for Jankos and really, really annoy him. Or he's super annoyed now. He had like 2 seconds on his Smite.
Yeah.
And then this annoying Elise walks in, and you have to jump out. She takes your Gromp, gets a bit of an experience advantage again, and you just get further behind.
Yeah, and he didn't even want a chance sticking around for it to come up because he's no Flash. So if he takes that
course.
fight with Grump, with Elise, he ends up dying again. But H2K, I don't think they were anticipating this Fnatic showing up, and it's taking them a little bit of time.
Nobody was, Stress.
That's fair. I'm just saying it's taking them a little bit of time to adapt to it, but they're going to run out of that.
And the reason I jump on that is Febervin jumps on Cap. Support from Yankos, puts the hammer down. True Shot Barrage helps out for a support. Now Yankos is caught by the death sentence, but the Devour buys some time. Yankos hops back out and Brox are forced to flash. Soaz under the tower. He puts down the ultimatum, but Odo wins the 1v1. It's gone crazy everywhere.
Yeah, that just went completely wrong for Fnatic. Like everything. Mid lane, they were actually about to make a play here, but then Caps, with the rest of HK around him, ended up dying. Nothing he could really do. And then top lane, well played by Odoamne, knocking Soaz under that tower here. We get a replay of the start of that fight as well. But this is huge. The fact that now Odoamne, unlike the first game, you know, fell really far behind against the split pusher, is now actually staying, even slightly winning his lane.
So here's a mid lane replay that we saw. As you said, Fnatic maybe looking to set up a play with Jez's coming
all on the way.
Caps takes the trade, exhausts Yankos, and Che comes in just in time to make sure there's no even kill. Flashes into the Devour, that's obviously one of those massive strengths. So Odoamne blasts Soaz in, ultimatum used to try and dodge a tower shot, but doesn't dodge the follow-up that Odoamne keeps him in place. Ends up falling. I think Soaz maybe thought he could take that trade, but under the tower, very difficult.
Now, as soon as he got knocked back there, that was kind of the problem for Soaz. Once he got knocked on the tower, he's just trying to get out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Odoamne can take him down. Well played on Agragas, and it's important to highlight that Agragas has now been blind picked 2 games in a row. And it is because he's such a safe blind pick up there. He can lane and beat the tanks. He can lane against some of the carries. Like, he's just overall a very good laner with impact later on. And that's why Odoamne is able to take down Soaz, even out the CS, or stay even in CS, which is important for HK, because they're not gonna, you know, be winning a whole lot on the bottom side.
Not this time round. That early game, Brox are helping Fnatic. We've got an even game at 11 minutes. At this stage in the previous game, Fnatic had a couple of towers to their name, they had kills as well. So at the very least, H2K, they've not given up as much during the early stages, despite the fact that Broxa and Caps got very good early starts. You know, that gank down bottom and first blood. And as we're talking about Broxa, we can actually see some of his stats going on. Hugely good center versus his league-wide average. I find it could but nothing more this game.
Alright, not able to get a whole lot. But yeah, good last game from him. Keep talking about Lease and Elise. Like, those are the 2 big things for him. Obviously, HK valued the first pick LeBlanc in this one. Elise over to Broxa once again. Needs to have a bit more impact if he wants to be successful, like in the last game. But for now, there's plenty of time.
That first pick that Blanc is doing a great job early on. Everyone up in CS as traditional rules. I believe he's ranked 2 at every point in the game. If mid laners for CS is really but HK, as you said, the first pick LeBlanc, it's supplementing a lot of this early game that HK are going to rely on. The fact that Nuclear needs more time in this bottom lane, the fact that Odoamne is playing more of a tank and an engage tool, means that Febervin has a lot on his shoulders going up against his former team.
Because if you look at both of these team comps, I think they're both relatively happy going into the game. Camille's going to become very scary in the game. Broxton and Elise still has that kick potential. Rise and Vayne, obviously, very happy to get 1 or 2 items under their belt before the action really kicks in. But I want to see how this Jez's Thresh versus Chase situation plays out. Because both of them could make or break the entirety of mid-game. With Death Sentence, where's the support? Box goes down, but instant reply, the Abyssal Voyage, and they just end up trading ultimates for ultimates. As now Soaz gets caught out, there's support from H2K. He takes a lashing from the tongue, and Yankos picks up an easy kill.
Good interrupt from Odoamne, stops Soaz from getting out, and H2K easy punish there. Che immediately pulls out the Abyssal Voyage, makes sure they can get the back to H2K a lot more composed.
It's a huge issue for Fnatic that his top lane is losing this hard now, because Fnatic's goal is to play around the bottom side. It's to get this bot lane tower down, so Reckless has a very long leg so he can chase like an Ezreal and get a kill. That's why they're going for this play now. They're trying to find Nuclear.
Alright, round war, that's going to find Nuclear off the long-range cocoon. Devoured though from Che. That's going to save Nuclear's life. So as we cancel his teleport, as does Oda1 man. Potentially Featherman as well. They're both on cooldown, but Fnatic, they're looking for Tower First Blood. They're going to find it. And H2K will equalize moments after.
Sucks for down now in the top lane. I think Jankos actually stepped away from this tower a little bit earlier. Thought he was going to get it for sure as the first tower. But Fnatic with that play bottom lane. Yes, they didn't get the kill, but they got exactly what they wanted. Towers. Open up the map so this Blade of Ruin King Vayne stop playing in these side lanes.
And now you get a Mountain Drake alongside it, just supplements some of that damage.
And I think if you look at the summoner spell cost as well, 2 teleports from H2K, 1, 2, 3 flashes as well. Fnatic have also bought themselves some time in the next few minutes, not having to worry about double TPs with both Soras on the way.
Yeah, and of course the damage we're talking about is when you look at the Baron with the way Blade of the Ruin King, everything on top of it, now you've got Mountain Drake. Second Drake is going to be Mountain as well. If Fnatic can pick that up, very fast Baron kill as well.
But now that we get into the mid game, I think it's important again to highlight why Vayne can be hard to execute as a champion, not just for yourself, but as for your team, is again she needs to sit in a side lane. This actually means Caps is going to be the wave player in the mid lane. And while Ryze can definitely kill the wave very quickly, if H2K ever get the tempo advantage and get to rotate to this mid lane, 3 or 4 guys, Ryze needs to step away from the tower and allow them to actually take it down. He can't then sit in like long range clear these waves like Victor could, and that's some problem.
Well, some problems for Caps. Fiddle, but Caps comes out ahead, including those room charges over and over. The limited support, H2K pulling numbers advantage. If Odo decides to come down as well, could be some of those flank engager options underneath the tower. Fnatic, they're not sticking around just yet.
And they know the Reckless is in the bottom lane, as you were talking about, only now leaving, so they're in the same thread as the Twitch from before. Perhaps that's a warded area. He doesn't know it yet, though.
Jankos jumps over. The Lantern is available. Caps decides not to take the ride. Che is waddling to safety with Jankos inside his belly. Che so far on Tom Kench has saved a number of 60k bombs.
Been a good pick for him for sure, but we're kind of just following where the Vayne is going, what Reckless can do. As we highlighted earlier, the way Vayne pushes the wave is 1 minion at a time. It's 1 minion, you don't have any AoE damage, so it takes a bit of time for her to really get a lane going. And that is why other teams have chances to kind of move around the map and try and force maybe 4v4 or potential like push on a tower while Vayne is busy pushing out that lane. The problem though for Nuclear is, because with the minimap, he has to respect Reckless. He runs away as soon as Fnatic moves towards the bottom side. That allows Reckless to get a free lane.
It's amazing to see the priority shift from defensive to aggressive stances. You know, moving forward in a lane, then moving back in a lane, respecting vision. And now we see which team's communication and understanding will show up. Because if Fnatic try to stick around and defend the tower, then all of a sudden the Gragas, Kha'Zix, Tom Kench could flank and ruin your day. Similarly, if anyone's trying to push towards this Camille or this Vayne, Fnatic could have opportunities with the Thresh, with the Ryze, with the Release to find picks. And now we judge which team can make those scenarios happen.
And it's not only that, I mean, H2K, they know that Nuclear, if he is there against Reckless, despite Ezreal being normally a very safe AD carry, Vayne is one that if you get that first shot off after the tumble, you can actually stick on a target like Ezreal, unless he's going something towards that Iceborne Gauntlet, which is not what we've been seeing Ezreal's go for. You go Trinity Force for more damage, so, you know, if the couple of shots lands, might be 3 shots and Nuclear's dead.
Now, Fnatic is a team that loves to lane swap, so whenever they do go back to base, you got a call. Bot lane could be missing. Oda should have gotten the message.
Oh, that was so good. So as sidesteps the big barrel. Odo gets the message now, and the message is, get wrecked.
Yeah, probably he's mad backstage right now. Because it's one of the things you look for. Anyway, let's see the play here.
All right, Realm Warp comes out. Caps with the overload. Not going to find the kill. Broxah should be able to repel up. Looking for a target. Going to drop down defensively. Fnatic look for the tower instead.
And that's the thing. It's a threatening repel up from Broxah there. He has the option to go down, but they know it's an overchase. They want to try and get 2 towers. Che's alone here.
Why did you go in without support? Che's going to get dropped overload after overload. Defensive flash, and Broxah's able to survive. So does Che. The exhaust saved his life. Reckless isn't done yet. He's taken the top tower and the inner tower, and Fnatic now 3 towers to 2.
Such a successful lane swap because it was Reckless who pushed out first. He then goes to the top lane with Jessis. As I said before here, probably backstage, he's angry. I was talking to him before the game, so he's like, Fnatic lane swap. My players, they gotta be ready for it. When that dual lane goes back to base, communication has to go from bot lane to top lane to mid lane saying, watch out, they can come to your lane. Odo Amne stayed out in his lane. Then Camille ulti, obviously he can't move, he's not going anywhere. He gets killed. That's one tower, that's two towers. Based on that lane swap that H2K knew Fnatic loved to make, and they still died to it.
That different style from Fnatic that comes out that teams aren't quite used to playing against.
It's once you say it on stage, you can talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. On stage, that communication can break down.
Oh, look at that. Soaz takes a lot of damage from Featherman. Chase coming in from behind. Soaz is going to do what he can before being dropped. H2K will communicate effectively enough as we get to 20 minutes to get their 4th kill of the game.
And this is where there wasn't really a response from Fnatic on this with good timing by H2K, knowing they can get in behind, so the response will be repelled, which goes over to Reckless, as we've seen for the last few weeks for Fnatic. He's been picking that up, which is a nice little bonus. They get it just in time before the Baron spawns, but overall H2K, this would be happy to relieve some of that pressure that Camille was creating.
Definitely good always to get that game. You are focusing on that side lane. And now, they're actually expecting H2K to try and make a play mid, because this top lane is pushing against H2K. Against Fnatic, is pushing towards Fnatic right now.
Look at the mini-map. H2K are grouping.
How often do you see Ezreal at 20 minutes check Baron pit with True Shot Barrage because Fnatic could have been going for it? Very tense as H2K are trying to lock down Fnatic members, seeing where they are on the map, because Jankos is still in that Dragon Pit.
I just love this understanding here from Fnatic when you look at minion waves. With that big top lane wave pushing towards Fnatic, they knew, okay, H2K is not going to be top lane, because they can't overextend, they can't move past the river. They have to go mid. And that's why Jessis and Reckless and Broxah were just sitting and waiting in that brush here, saying, we're ready, you're going to push this tower, and then we're going to just move in behind you and kill you.
Well, luckily H2K didn't make that mistake, and instead, they managed to pick up uncontested Dragon. If you look at the minimap, H2K have a lot of vision on that right-hand quadrant. 2 pink wards in the river, control wards rather, as well as a couple invisibles, which Soaz is now walking directly over. So information for H2K.
Stand strong.
Now what we're going to see now here in the mid game as well, towards the early start of the late game, is Reckless, while he looks to be alone, will always have support. Jessis and Broxah will always be around him, because when you play 1-3-1,
Time to do some real
what
damage.
looks like a 1-3-1, but with a lane that doesn't have like teleport, who needs a bit of assistance like a Vayne, it becomes this like 3-1-1, where your side lane with the Vayne is ready to protect. If they put a vision, there's where you can support a jungle. So if someone ever tries to drill this Vayne, you just get collapsed on by multiple members instantly, and you die. So it allows Reckless to always push out first. No one can touch you.
Fnatic can just play more proactively. They can make those moves, look for those picks. If you look at item advantage, 2 item spikes for most of Fnatic. Phantom Dancer played Blue King a second ago. Luckily, I picked up his Triforce. 22 minutes in, he's got Triforce and Soaz for a little while. He needs to also go back and shop, I think. So, Fnatic sitting very comfortably. 2,000 gold up. They won game 1. At what point do you start to believe we can extend this lead even further?
I believe after game 1, 5 minutes.
There we go.
I want to touch on that Phantom Dancer, because a lot of people still in solo queue will see Vayne thinking of static shit. This is about dueling, but it's 2v1. That's not fair.
It just gets condemned into the wall and flashes away. But you can't flash away from an auto attack.
So now we need some cross map here from H2K, because this play here from Reckless was set up due to him pushing out top first, recalling, and then sneaking bot lane. Featherman will try and trade for a tower, but it's a 4v5 situation on the map. What else can Fnatic do?
Fnatic have regrouped around mid lane. They know the wave did push out, but they can't punish it. It's Reckless on the bottom lane that's looking for something, but Rise going top, I don't think they're catching this with luck.
They're stopping a tower behind.
That's true.
Well played in by Featherman as well, respecting that Rise. So not mistake.
As the bottom side backs away. The Tom Kench was there. The Abyss of Void, we didn't see it on screen, but it has been used. So a very tentative game.
Yeah, tentative game, but Fnatic are the ones that when they push their pedal to the middle, accelerate. They're the ones that take people towers. How it works. Got them themselves an extra kill. They've got themselves a mountain goat, and with a Kabir, a Rise, and a Vayne, and an Elite splittling entries, Baron will get melted very, very quickly. Oh yeah. H2K cannot afford to give Fnatic, hell, even 30 seconds alone with the big weapon.
That's why whenever Baron is the objective, it's Reckless, Jesse's Brox on top side, pushing out. Then they get control of the river, they ward it up, and H2K kind of like, are they on it? Check, True Shot Barrage, you know, double blue, trinket something, just check, because you will have almost no vision if Fnatic plays it out right.
And there's so many ways of them getting in the pit. To be Captain Obvious, you've got the Lantern to come in, any blast cones that are there, Rise Ultimate to come in. Yeah, he's going for it.
Yankos is at least going to use that Void Assault to escape. Not enough vision for the Condemn. Few golf claps at Reckless.
I think I heard one guy say boo.
Tumbling forward, and that means H2K pick up a very easy tower.
So as was on the bot lane, looking to try and push down, of course, can't get all the way to the tower now that H2K have taken it so quickly. So that is a good little response out of H2K. Push that down, reduce some of the play area for Fnatic already.
All right, leap over the wall for Yankos. The Cocoon, I think, buys some time. There goes the Lantern out, and Caps flashes forward, sidesteps backwards. Oh, those blue suede shoes are made for dancing.
Baby... Yucks.
I'm not saying, I'm not getting involved. His name is Caps.
Baby!
His name is Caps.
Come on, that was a Faker move. I love that. That was
Faker
really
wouldn't
well
have been
played.
caught. That's what I've
He
learned.
definitely would have been caught, but would have done the same to get out. Anyway, of course, we're not going to say it. He's not up there just yet, but well played overall. First time, by the way, Reckless didn't get to shove out his lane. And what happened? H2K got to group mid and took a tower. So we got to see again how both comps really want to play this. H2K, please, can we just group? Fnatic is like, please, can we just split push?
How does H2K force Fnatic to group? I mean, that time round, there was a tower to focus for H2K, but it gets riskier, right? They're going to now get to inner towers.
The same way we've seen H2K forcing a lot of fights throughout the split when Chase on Tam Kench or Oluwane is on one of these picks like Gragas. It's all about just committing right to one person that's out of position like Caps. That time he had his chance. Maybe next time it doesn't quite line up for them. They get the pick, they move into the jungle, get the vision down. They don't need to win a full 5v5 to threaten objectives like towers. One or two members down from Fnatic is enough, but H2K just continue pushing.
Look at the damage. Nuclear gets a couple of Mystic shots off and forces Caps away.
And a lot of now, based on kind of getting H2K in position, is focused around having these like different windows. Whenever Fnatic pushes out a lane with Reckless, they will then recall with Reckless and send him somewhere else. And that actually gives now a window for H2K to push top lane, which is what they're doing now with Febiven, if we can just show him up in the top side. And now that they have this opening, they can actually make a play. Because now they have the control in the side lanes. If they wait another minute, Reckless will push it back, and then Fnatic has the chance to make a play. So right now it's on H2K, they have pushed the lane, top tower is open. This is how they can force something with their comp as a team, and not rely on the split push that Fnatic would rely on.
So good from H2K, playing that map effectively. If the observers can